Video games. There was so much stuff going on this week for work, all these different projects with the Park Avenue Armory, and I don't think I can tell you much about that, besides the fact that one of our seating plans now looks like a Space Invader! Whoa! So I was really busy with that, and I just needed a way to de-stress a little bit when I was coming home on the train. And I just needed a way to de-stress on the train a little bit, so, you know, I've been getting my WACTS videos done a lot quicker now that I'm not doing a lot of green screen stuff. Typically I'm getting them done, you know, within a couple hours, so that's really nice. Just a little bit of editing, and obviously every time I do this, I edit a little bit quicker. Pretty cool. So I just needed a way to de-stress on the train, and basically the two video games I have on the laptop are Tropico, which I still haven't finished a complete game of, but that's fine, and then Half-Life. And of course, Half-Life is such a classic, like, I really feel like I should beat it, but it's a longer game than I thought it was, and obviously there's a lot of games that were derivative of Half-Life, and I can never remember derivative of or derivative toward, blah, but, you know, did what Half-Life was doing, but then it's a lot better and more refined now. But still, it's great to go back to the source material for this kind of stuff, kind of like going back and watching an old movie that clearly influenced a lot of movies today. So, I'm still plowing through. I know I'm past the halfway point in the game. I went through kind of a puzzle level where I needed to turn a bunch of power on, and then, you know, go through like this plant refinement processing facility. Oh, it looked like I was going to get outside and win, but of course I knew that wasn't going to happen. I was going outside, and then I got captured, and then I escaped. I was in like a Star Wars style trash compactor, and then there's like a helicopter attack scene, and I ran away from the helicopter, went under the water, you know, got spit out into a dam area. Now I'm back to having all my weapons and that kind of stuff. But anyway, the plot line of Half-Life is not that interesting. The gameplay and the physics kind of stuff going on, like little puzzle solving things, put this box here to jump up here and move over here, block these lasers, shoot this thing from far away, see if you can get rid of all these guys with one grenade, all that kind of stuff. I think this was the first game to really do that in a really interesting way, and especially when I'm still playing games like The Last of Us, it's fun to look at the way that these games still have certain things in common and require similar thinking. So I'm still enjoying playing Half-Life. I hope I can beat it. I think I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through, so I'll give you more thoughts once I actually finish it. But Half-Life for now, 3 stars with a confidence 4. I talked a little bit about Burnout Paradise last week. All I want to say is I've been playing more of it this week, and it very quickly plateaued in its level of funness. Like, it's become very quickly a game that's fun to turn off my brain for and just play it, and almost every race or thing I do, I win, except some of the stunt stuff, because you really need to have a bunch of multipliers to get the kind of score to do really well. But I'm at a Class B license. It's one of these exponential, you know, upgrading things where first you need to just win a couple times, then you go to a D license, and a few more times to go to a C license, then I had to win like 15 times to get to a B license, and now I have to win like 50 times in order to get to an A license. But it seems like the only thing you get when you go to a new license is everything becomes a little bit harder, and then you get a free new car. But the cars are all, you know, it's like different cars in Grand Theft Auto. Like, they're all kind of fun and drive differently in different ways and have some slightly different features, but that's really it for this game. Like, it's a great open world, it's fun to drive around, but all the challenges are pretty similar. There's not anything in the way of a plot here, so as an arcade game, it's a great just kind of turn off my brain, have fun, but I don't feel like I need to play it that much more. I'm pretty much willing to stop, which is kind of a rare thing for me since I haven't technically beaten the game, but I feel like I've absorbed most of what I wanted from it. I'll still keep it there whenever I want to play it. I have no idea why there's unlockables involving like toy cars and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm going down to, I think, 3 stars with a confidence of 4 now for Burnout Paradise. I played a little more of Far Cry 4 the other night, and just made it through a little bit more of the story, and I'm really digging it. There's like this whole little thing where you're finding your dad's journals, and I got sent into this kind of dream world that involved like a tiger that needed to be dressed up in a certain way. It was like a ghost and disappearing and helping me battle these demons, and the whole thing was very ethereal, and kind of, even though it's just a little almost mini game experience, because you don't actually have a weapon, you send like the tiger to attack for you, it really affected me in kind of a spiritual way, which is kind of cool. Not like it changed my religion or anything, but it's tough to describe. I just thought that was a really cool experience. I also had a situation where I was stripped naked and thrown in an arena and had to like find a sword and then, you know, defeat a bunch of guys before, you know, getting out of there. That was really cool too. I'm still enjoying playing through the game, but man, I've mentioned this with Far Cry before, but it just is so hard to kill so many animals just to get some skin to make my wallet bigger, and kind of weighs on your soul a little bit. So anyway, Far Cry 4 though, I'm enjoying the plot line. It's really fun, you know, from a video game design perspective, especially now that I'm dealing more with optimal optimization and the details of like light map baking and all that to look at a game like that that's beautiful and gorgeous and try to speculate a little bit on, you know, how they're pulling off what they're doing for the specs on my computer, especially because the resolution, I have everything cranked up as far as it can go, and with a widescreen monitor, it's, you know, like 2580 by 1960 or something like that. So very high res, and it's really fun to wonder how they're doing that. So all the video games I'm playing now, I'm trying to think critically about, since I'm very slowly making my way to the point where one day I'll actually be able to call myself a video game designer proper. But for now, it's more just like critical, you know, analysis and that kind of thing. Far Cry 4 still having a lot of fun though. 4 stars with confidence of 4. One thing that's really cool is Ryan Payton, who I knew primarily as one of the producers on Metal Gear Solid 4 and Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops. He has his own game company now. I think it's called Camouflage, and they produced a game called Republique, which was a big showcase game for Unity 5. One thing that's really cool is they released an entire level to the Unity public, which was great. So I was able to download this super high-res, well-organized, well-thought-out level with all sorts of optimized stuff, with all sorts of great lessons embedded in there, from scripts written in a very clean, elegant way to the fact that, you know, there aren't actually any baked light maps in here. It's a very complicated scene with like 100 lights, but it's still doing it real-time. I think it uses like a real-time GI setting, which is different from Unity 4, which didn't even have those kinds of options. So it's really cool as like a study thing. Whenever I have a little bit of time and I'm working on optimization techniques, it's fun to pop in that scene and just kind of look at it a little bit and try to figure out how it's doing what it's doing. So Republic, that's kind of cool. Last thing is I played a little bit more of The Last of Us the other night because Liz wanted to take a nap, and I was trying to find something I could play that wouldn't wake her up. And it's like, oh, what can I play that doesn't involve like guns right now that I want to make some progress in? And you know, she said, oh, The Last of Us is fine because she likes the music and she likes the characters and the plot line. So I just tried not to shoot too much. I tried to be as stealthy as I could. But I'm really enjoying the second playthrough. This game definitely lends itself to repeat viewings, to put it in kind of the way you might talk about a movie, because there's all sorts of great little details you pick up on the second time through. And I'm so aware now of like where the story's going, and I'm like, oh, Joel, don't form an attachment to Ellie. The human race lies in your hands. But I played through the whole Bill sequence, which I think is very well done, especially the character of Bill, and then the stuff into Pittsburgh, and I'm maybe 2/3, 3/4 of the way through the Pittsburgh stuff, and I find that much less compelling on a second playthrough, because the gameplay is pretty similar to all the other times you're encountering people and zombies, and I actually find some stuff like when you fall down the elevator shaft and make your way back up to Ellie to be a bit of a slog, not to mention that the checkpoint system is really weird there. So, you know, when you're down there, you basically need to start up a generator and get a key card, and I got the key card, then I was getting like all the items around everywhere, and then I do the generator last, and then I got killed by giant monster fungus guy that like squeezes your head to death, and then I had to go all the way back to, you know, 40 minutes before that, not 40 minutes, but a while before that, before I had gotten all my items, and to do all that over and over again is really frustrating. So, you know, that's kind of... What's also tricky is, you know, there's so much great world building and characters in The Last of Us, and I wish that there was a little bit more work done to establish these different colonies and these different groups of people to help you understand how they're living the way they are. I think that's done really well with David and his people later on, the cannibals, but like here in Pittsburgh, you know, obviously you can read some notes and get a little sense of, and I think the notes you're reading in Pittsburgh are actually from the people who lived there before the people who are living there now came and like killed everyone or whatever. But you know, these people give you little hints of being normal. Like you'll see them walking around and just kind of digging on each other and that kind of thing, and you think, oh, they're normal, and then you have to go kill them all. But I kind of wish there was a part of this game, and I really, for the life of me, can't think of any part I felt it, where I genuinely did not want to have to kill anyone. Like, if they really established, like, oh my god, these people are totally generous, kind, nice people, but they're in my way for some reason, and I have to get rid of them to go through. And okay, I guess there's a little bit of that at the very end, but in that situation, you're basically at odds with what Joel wants. I would like to be at odds with, I would like even Joel to be at odds with the situation at hand, and I think that would have been a nice bonding moment if it's really a struggle. The obvious moment that comes to mind for when a video game does that really well is at the end of Metal Gear Solid, when you need to kill Gray Fox, and you're there and like, you really don't want to do it, and Snake really doesn't want to do it, and every time you press the trigger button, Snake has this whole like, no, I can't do it.
It's no good. I can't do it.
So anyway, that's a very long-winded way of saying that I'm really enjoying The Last of Us playing it the second time around, but some of it feels like a bit of a slog, and I wish some of the characters were more finely developed. I wish some of the colonies were more finely developed. Still though, 5 stars, Compton's 5.